watching RTV6. Now, the news at 11.
Confusion and a little bit of chaos.
But then when I called up here to let them know I was coming to get my daughter, they said that she probably was already gone.
And it's just so disappointing that children would be put in the middle of a work action.
Dozens of bus drivers call in absent.
The school district wants to let you know that your child or children might be late arriving home from school today,
leaving thousands of IPS students waiting for a ride home.
Had to call my mom. She had to get up out her sleep to come get me so she could pick me up so I couldn't ride the bus because my bus ain't here.
Now we're learning more about a contingency plan in case the same thing happens on Monday. What a headache today for Indianapolis public school students, parents, and school workers trying to just sort things out. Good evening. I'm Jenna Coy.
And I'm Todd Connor. RTV6 was first to break this story this afternoon, and tonight we are digging deeper.
RTV6 reporter Drew Smith joins us now live with how things got so crazy today and what is in the works to keep it from happening again. Drew.
Jenna, Todd, I'm outside Christmas Attucks. This was one of the schools affected by this whole bus driver mess today. It all happened about noon. That's when IPS learned that bus drivers from Durham School Services would not be reporting for work this afternoon. So school administrators all over the district had to scramble to make sure these kids could get home safely today. Tonight, they're making plans in case it happens again Monday morning. The buses were late, but they eventually got the kids home. IPS said their first priority today was to get the students home safely and then to focus on athletic events for this evening and over the weekend. The school system learned shortly before noon it would be caught in the middle of a work dispute and then started to try and fill the gap.
A bus driver is a very specialized individual. You can't just go and pick a bus driver up off the street. So we're all working with very limited numbers of extra. And when you're looking at replacing 80 drivers in less than 3 hours, that's a pretty tall task to do.
At Tech High School, administrators said they executed a plan by holding students a little while past the final bell until they could arrange for each student who needed to ride the bus to get home safely.
Then once we saw that we had the majority of the buses on our lot, we were able to release them. And then what we did, we told the parents that they could pick their kids up if their buses were not here.
System-wide, IPS says at least 80 drivers failed to report to work this afternoon, affecting more than 12,000 students. Durham School Services and IPS are in the middle of a 5-year contract worth $15 million. Durham claims the dispute is out of their hands, blaming a law regarding unemployment benefits that affects some of their drivers. In order to make sure these kids get to and from school safely on Monday, IPS is now working on a contingency plan, assuming the problem won't be resolved by then, although they are staying hopeful every driver will report to work. Now, a spokesman for Durham said earlier today this was not a strike or a job action against the company. However, IPS responded by saying that placing children in the middle of a work dispute is simply unacceptable. Jenna, Todd, back to you.
So many people affected. Drew, thank you.
Well, students and parents are the innocent victims in all of this. The chaos for parents began when they received an automated phone message this afternoon.
the school district wants to let you know that your child or children might be late arriving home from school today. The contracted bus company, Durham, has informed us that many of the bus drivers are threatening a job accident and may call in sick this afternoon.
That's part of the message IPS parents received this afternoon, alerting them to the bus driver dispute.
It's crazy.
And informing parents their children would probably be late getting home if parents did not pick up their children themselves.
Some parents, they can't just, come and pick their kid up. I mean, they rely on the buses for the kids to get, back and forth to school.
While parents and faculty scrambled to get students home, students themselves wondered and worried about what was happening.
One of the teachers came in the classroom and asked us if we had our cell phones and told us to call home and get a ride because the buses weren't coming and they were telling us about it.
And I feel like that's very unfair to students because many students don't have ride homes. We depend on buses.
Why don't you pull ahead?
At Theodore Potter Elementary School on the southeast side, many parents did arrive to pick up their children. The principal says most students who took the bus arrived home only 5 to 10 minutes late. But now parents are the ones wondering what will happen next week.
But I'm hoping like one day something be all resolved and somehow, because between work and school, it's going to be kind of hectic getting everybody back and forth to two different schools. So I don't know.
Now, we got a hold of Durham School Services about its drivers today, and it tells RTV6 this stems from a fight with the state over unemployment benefits for drivers. Its statement goes on to say, we support our employees in obtaining unemployment benefits. It is unfortunate some bus drivers are not showing up for work and putting their interests ahead of the well-being of the students.
So what exactly is that fight over unemployment benefits? Here's what we can tell you about it. It stems from unemployment benefits over the summer when school is out. A new state law enacted last year makes school workers, such as bus drivers and teachers, no longer eligible for those benefits. Any driver, though, who received those this summer would be forced by the state to repay the money received this summer. Here is the breakdown of events today. Just after noon, the district became aware of the driver issue. Around 1:30, automated calls began going out to parents, alerting them to the issue. Hours later, just before 6 p.m., the last of the students were put on a bus for the ride home.